Good morning, everybody. We're here today at Honeyside Farms in Parrish, Florida. And you can see we're right in the middle of peak growing season. They've got a lot of produce ready to go to market right now. And Parrish is about 30 minutes south of Tampa and about 30 minutes north of Sarasota. So we're considered in Central Florida in this location, which I imagine is about zone 9 or 10-ish. Maybe we can ask Ida over here, who is generously hosting us today. And she is the farm manager here at Honeyside Farm. Okay, Ida, what zone are you in here at?
This is actually zone 9.
Zone 9.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you can grow just about anything, right?
Anything, any time of the year except for summer when it's really hot and sweltering.
So Ida, this farm is an official CSA, Community Supported Agriculture. What does that mean exactly, and why is that important to our community?
Yeah, good question. CSA is basically a partnership between the consumer and the farmer. And both of us, I think, benefit immensely from this partnership. The consumer, first and foremost, gets some of the freshest, in our case, organic vegetables that can be found anywhere. This includes the farmers markets, supermarkets, anywhere really. And
how long have you been part of this farm and this CSA project that you've started here? And tell me a little bit about what inspired you to work here and your background with agriculture in general.
So I kind of started an interest in organic gardening when I was in high school. I had some pretty serious health problems with eczema. It was an autoimmune, and I had like skin rashes all up and down my arms. It was covering my face, and as you can imagine, as a little 14-year-old, that had a pretty big impact on my self-esteem. And I visited lots of doctors, skin doctors, allergy doctors, dermatologists, and there was really no cure. Nothing really ever helped. I took I took steroids, I took all kinds of creams, antibiotics. And one day I was just surfing the internet, and I found the story of one lady who cured her eczema, and that was through her diet. She cured it 100% nutritionally. So what you eat basically makes a huge impact on your health and really affects, your body and your well-being. So I got really interested in organic food and eating healthy. Eating lots of greens and vegetables were a very important part of my diet. And so I started growing my own vegetables in my own backyard, and I really took a liking to it. It was a lot of fun, actually. I had a blast growing vegetables, all kinds of green beans and kale and tomatoes in my backyard, and I decided, well, you know what, I want to make a career out of this. I want to do this for the rest of my life. So I went to University of Florida in Gainesville, and got my bachelor's in plant science. Did a couple of internships and apprenticeships on local organic farms, and through one of my internships I met Tiffany Bailey, who is the owner of Honeyside Farms, where I'm at right now, and I think we hit it off really great, and she hired me on to be her farm manager, and I've been here for 3 years now, and I still think I love my job, and this is probably the best career choice I think anybody can have, because food and health is so much very important to your well-being.
Wow, Ida, that's an amazing story. You were basically, as a teenager, you were introduced to mainstream medicine to treat your condition, and then on your own, as you did more research and got more educated, you found that there was an alternative.
Yeah, a much better alternative that doesn't include, medications, chemicals, and who knows what.
A more holistic approach.
Yeah, holistic approach
to
that,
treating
you can really feel good holistically.
Well, you pretty much covered one aspect of my next question, in terms of the health benefits of organic fruits and vegetables versus conventional products. Could you talk a little bit more about that? Your condition that you had was treated or made much better by the
Yeah.
products that you consumed.
hmm
Can you talk a little bit more about any other health benefits that you know of?
I so yeah, eating, consuming organic food, you're free of a lot of chemical pesticide residues, which can be like heavy metals and who knows what. I mean, the FDA probably has done a bunch of studies saying certain levels are safe, but do you really want to take those chances? I certainly don't, wouldn't want to do that with my children. But I think the most important health benefit of organic food is the environmental impact. So conventional farms, I want to say, are all about killing insects, killing microbes and diseases and fungus, killing everything, having a sterile environment, and then having to feed, kind of spoon feed nutrients to their crops to make them produce optimally. Organic farming is a much more holistic approach. You have nutrient recycling, a lot of from recycled sources, so manures, composts, organic wastes, cover crops, and crop residues that are tilled back into the ground. All these organic matter materials feed the microbes in the soil, which recycles the nutrients. It holds the nutrients in the soil so it doesn't leach or erode and pollute our waterways, which means a healthier environment, which means healthy humans, which benefits us overall.
Wow, Ida, your education at UF was certainly worth every penny you spent on it. You have just given our viewers a tremendous amount of beneficial information about what it
I
means
hope
to
so.
grow organic fruits and vegetables. I'm going to get back to that in a minute in terms of the educational components of organic farming. But briefly, for a moment, I'd like to turn our attention to some of the crops that are being grown right here in
The
our
fun part,
immediate
the exciting thing.
vicinity. Yeah, the fun thing, and maybe we could do a taste test on some of the things that we come across. Obviously, right here behind us. Now, I know enough about vegetables to know that this is a beautiful cherry tomato. Can you tell us a little bit about this plant?
So these are our sun golds, little cherry tomatoes. They're really small, but they're full of sugar. They're really sweet and really tasty. Little kids love to just pop them in their mouths at the farmers markets.
And some little adults also.
Oh yeah, of course,
Yeah.
like me.
And
But it's a perfect little snack. You can just eat them like candy, basically.
mhm. Okay, well, and right behind us is, or behind me, is I think we saw some beans down here. Do you happen to know what the vitamin or mineral benefits of beans, of snap beans?
Well, you gotta have your protein, I guess, and with how fresh they are, they're just full of moisture.
Okay.
And one thing about organic food is they have a much higher antioxidant content because of all the micronutrients and all the bacteria and fungi that are just working to feed the plants and the soil.
Okay. Well, it's very helpful for you to mention the microbial bacteria that's in the soil. As you mentioned, a lot of the conventional farms, the philosophy is to destroy that, but in fact, it's
Yeah.
very beneficial for human
Oh
health.
yeah.
Getting back to the educational components of organic farming, in the future, does Honeyside Farms have any plans to offer educational courses or maybe a volunteer program in conjunction out here?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would absolutely love to do that. I think education is very important to the public to, first of all, they got to know what's good for them, what's good for the environment and the future of our planet. We're kind of in a dire situation now with climate change and healthcare and all kinds of other issues. So the way you start with that is to educate them, bring them out to the farm, and I think in the coming next few years that's definitely something we want to look into.
Okay, we're Back here again with Ida, who is the manager of Honeyside Farms here in Parrish, Florida. And now we're right in front of the broccoli, which is right down here. Let me see if I can zoom in on that and get you a good shot of those broccoli heads.
Kind of small right now.
That are just coming into season. It's Ida mentioned it's a winter crop. Now, Ida, in terms of the broccoli and all the other organic vegetables here on your farm, I know that conventional produce is grown with a lot of fertilizers, pesticides, even herbicides and fungicides. What do you choose to use here at Honeyside Farms?
So we use some organic fertilizers that come from chicken manure and fish emulsions. We also utilize a lot of compost that comes from the tree trimmings of local, I want to say, construction sites and, road services. We get coffee grinds from a pretty big coffee brewing company. They also brew beer, and we get the spent brewer's grains. All this organic matter is good compost and feeds the soil, which in turn feeds the microbes and the crops.
Wow, brewer's grains as a fertilizer. I never heard of that one before. The plants must really love to.
It's pretty high in protein and nitrogen.
Protein, okay. How about the alcohol content?
Well, I would assume they extract all of that for their needs.
Maybe that's why your plants look so happy.
I would say so.
All that brewer's grains in the alcohol content. All right. Well, what about this broccoli? Can you tell us a little bit more?
Well, broccoli is one of our most popular crops, actually. It's super fresh when you get it in the grocery store. It's really, really old, and the flavor of a freshly harvested broccoli is just incomparable to anything if you've never had fresh broccoli before. And I want to guarantee if you don't like broccoli, you'll probably like fresh broccoli, because it's actually really good for you, and all the nutrition is still there. It hasn't leached out from being in storage and transport. So,
well, it certainly looks amazing. It looks very nutritious and delicious. Let's talk a little bit about the CSA. This farm is an official CSA member. I'm assuming there's a U.S. Agricultural organization that is associated with CSAs, or is it kind of an independent?
It's kind of independent. So it's a relationship between the customer and the farmer. A really good, close relationship, I want to say, that benefits the both of us. So for the customer, they get really super fresh, which means also highly nutritious produce every week, and it's seasonal. So every week they get something a little bit different, and since it's seasonal, everything is super fresh at peak quality, and there's a pretty good variety. We always put 7 to 9 different things in a box. And this is also really good for the consumer because they have a pretty direct personal relationship and connection with their farmer. So all of our customers have my cell phone number. They can ring me up anytime, ask me anything, and they have peace of mind that we would never do anything to violate their trust in us to grow their food.
Wow, Ida, that's an amazing program. So my mistake. You're not at all government subsidized or funded.
No.
This is a very independent project, the CSA.
We're entirely, so that's another thing that makes CSA so important to the farmer, is it provides a very dependable and reliable income, which is for farmers something very hard to come by, actually. And farming is very risky business. You've got, you're trying to grow crops or animals that have a mind of their own. You've got Mother Nature to contend with, so there's a lot of variables and a lot of risk involved. So it's always nice to be able to fall back on that CSA income, which is, week to week. It's really steady. You can expect a steady demand throughout the season, and so that makes planning what you grow a lot easier.
Well, that's an amazing project that you've undertaken. And I'm imagining that these helpers over here on the farm help to box up those weekly CSA offerings. About how many people do you have helping you here on the farm to get all these
This is
boxes of produce to market?
This is pretty much everyone. I kind of manage the farm, and we have Edgar and Carla, our farm hands, to help, you know, pack, harvest, and plants everything.
Okay. Ida is involved with an amazing project here at Honeyside Farms in Parrish, Florida. And thanks for joining us today on our new segment, Holistic Health in Our Community. This is going to be a new, more detailed, more focused, in-depth video interviews for everyone to be more informed about the food they eat and the lifestyle choices that they make. So again, thanks for joining us here today. And again, Ida, thanks for hosting us. It's time for a broccoli snack. Wow,
That's
looks
really good.
so delicious.
Really tasty.
Okay, save some for the CSA members. Don't forget, don't eat all that broccoli. So thanks again, Ida. You're a very gracious host, and we very much appreciate
Thank you,
your
Keen.
time
Thank you
today.
for coming out here and, you know, doing this for us. We need all the attention we can get. CSAs for the rule.
Awesome. You'll have about 5,000 CSA members next year.
That would be awesome.
All right, Ida. Thanks again. You're amazing, and the work that you're doing here is amazing.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you out there down at the end of the farm, folks, where there's row after row of delicious organic vegetables.